Sara always believed that homes had souls, not in the whimsical, candle-lit way people like to romanticize, but in a quieter, more observant sense. Walls remembered things, floors absorbed weight, laughter, arguments. Doors held onto the echoes of people who passed through them. That was why she chose this house, on the island she grew up on. It wasn't extravagant, though most people assumed it must be. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a wraparound porch that sighed when the wind rolled in from the ocean. The paint was slightly faded, the shutters a shade off from perfection, but the house felt awake, like it had been waiting. Sara told herself she wanted a fresh start, a clean slate, but what she really wanted was silence that didn't feel empty. Of course, silence came with a price. Mortgage payments didn't care about emotional rebirth, and the island's charm came with an inflated cost of living. It only took 2 weeks before Sara admitted what she'd been avoiding. She needed a roommate. The idea unsettled her. Letting someone into a home was one thing. Letting someone into a space that had begun to feel like an extension of her own mind was another, but practicality won. She wrote the Craigslist ad carefully. Not too personal, not too cold.
3-bedroom home in quiet neighborhood. 1 furnished room available. Clean, respectful, financially stable applicants only. Shared common spaces. Ocean view. $900 per month.
She hovered over the post button longer than she'd expected. Then she clicked it. The first few responses were exactly what she feared. People who felt temporary, careless, like they would treat the house as a stopover rather than a home. She ignored most of them. Then came Fred. His message was normal. That was the first thing she noticed. No oversharing, no urgency. Just a straightforward introduction. Fred, originally from the Midwest, relocating for a job opportunity. Quiet, tidy, enjoys movies and cooking. Looking for a stable, long-term place to stay. There was something grounding about it. Something that didn't reach. They exchanged a few emails, then a phone call. His voice matched the message. Steady, polite, almost unremarkable in a way that felt reassuring. He laughed at the right moments, asked thoughtful questions, didn't pry. By the end of the call, Sara felt something she hadn't expected. Comfort.
Honestly,
She told him, leaning back against the kitchen counter as she spoke.
you sound like exactly the kind of person I was hoping for.
Fred chuckled softly.
I'll take that as a good sign.
It is.
She said.
It really is.
He moved in 3 days later. The house accepted him. Sara noticed it immediately, though she wouldn't have admitted it out loud. Some people disrupted the rhythm of a space. They made things feel off balance, like a note slightly out of tune. Fred didn't. He moved through the house with a kind of quiet awareness. Shoes off by the door, dishes washed immediately after use, counters wiped without being asked. He even noticed small things, like how the back door stuck slightly when it rained, or how the porch light flickered if you didn't screw it in tightly.
You've got to twist it just a little more.
He said one evening, standing on a chair with a screwdriver in hand.
There. That should hold.
Sara watched him from the doorway, arms crossed loosely.
You're handy.
She said. He shrugged.
Grew up fixing things. It sticks with you.
It did stick, with her too. Not because it was impressive, but because it was consistent. Fred was consistent. Rent was always paid on time, sometimes a day early. He kept his room immaculate, and the shared spaces even more so. He cooked occasionally, offering her a plate without making it feel like an obligation.
You don't have to.
She said once, eyeing the steaming bowl of pasta he held out.
I know,
He replied simply.
but I made too much.
She took it. It became their rhythm. Sometimes they watched movies in the living room. Nothing too heavy. Old comedies. The occasional thriller. Fred had a quiet sense of humor, the kind that slipped in unexpectedly.
You've seen this one before?
Sara asked during one movie, glancing over as he chuckled at a scene.
A couple times.
And you still laugh?
Good things don't stop being good.
He said. It was such a simple statement, but it lingered with her. Good things don't stop being good. Sara started to relax. More than relax, she started to trust. 2 months passed without friction, not a single argument, not a single moment of discomfort. If anything, Sara found herself wondering if she had gotten unusually lucky. It wasn't just that Fred was a good roommate. He was easy to exist around. There was no performance, no tension, just a quiet coexistence that felt almost curated in its balance. Which was why, when he didn't come home one night, she didn't think much of it. She noticed, of course. The house felt slightly different. Not wrong, just missing a piece of its usual rhythm. But people had lives outside of shared spaces. He didn't owe her an explanation.
Probably out with someone.
She muttered to herself, rinsing a mug in the sink. The second night passed the same way. Still no Fred. That was odd, but not alarming, not yet. By the third day, she considered texting him. She even typed out a message.
Hey, just checking in. Everything okay?
Then she deleted it. He was a grown man. And if there was one thing she appreciated about their dynamic, it was the lack of intrusion. So she let it go. The call came on the 4th day. Sara almost didn't answer. The number was unfamiliar, and she was in the middle of reorganizing the pantry, a task she had been putting off for weeks. But something made her pause. She answered.
Hello?
Hey, Sara?
The voice was hesitant.
Yes?
It's Monica from a while back. We met at that 4th of July thing at Jenna's place.
Sara searched her memory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Monica let out a small breath, like she had been holding it.
How are you holding up?
Sara blinked.
Holding up?
There was a pause.
You don't know?
Monica asked carefully. A strange sensation crept up Sara's spine.
Know what?
Another pause. Longer this time.
Wow, I thought you really don't know?
Monica.
Sara said, her voice tightening slightly.
Know what?
Monica exhaled slowly.
I work with your roommate at Baskin-Robbins, Fred.
Sara's stomach dipped.
Okay.
There was an incident last Friday.
Something in the way she said it made the air in the room feel thinner.
What kind of incident?
Monica hesitated again, like she was choosing her words very, very carefully.
A SWAT team came in.
She said finally.
In the middle of our shift, they
She swallowed audibly.
took him in handcuffs.
Sara's grip on the phone tightened.
What?
They just stormed in. Guns, everything. Customers screaming. We had no idea what was happening.
There has to be some mistake.
Sara said quickly, the words coming out faster than she could process them.
Fred, he wouldn't.
I thought the same thing.
Monica said softly.
But, Sara,
Her voice dropped.
they weren't calling him Fred.
The silence that followed felt heavier than anything Sara had ever experienced.
What do you mean?
She whispered.
They kept saying Greg something, Sanders.
Sara's heart stuttered.
That's not his name.
I know,
Monica said.
that's what I thought too.
Sara's vision blurred slightly as she stared at the pantry shelves, now completely forgotten.
Sara?
I have to go.
She said abruptly. And then she hung up. Her hands were shaking as she opened her laptop. The house felt different now. Not quiet. Watching. She typed the name into the search bar with stiff fingers. Greg Sanders. The results appeared instantly. Headlines, images. Her breath caught. It was him. The same face, the same calm expression, the same man who had stood in her kitchen, who had fixed her porch light, who had handed her a bowl of pasta like it was the most normal thing in the world. But now he was in handcuffs, surrounded by officers. His expression unchanged. Sarah's eyes darted to the headline, and then she stopped breathing. Part 2 changes everything. Subscribe so you don't miss it.